Good evening and welcome to EBTV's coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. Tonight, the opener for the football season against the South Brunswick Vikings. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka here at J. Doyle Field with Richie Whalen. And Rich, a tale of two completely different teams last year. South Brunswick 10-1, East Brunswick 1-9. Does that bode well for tonight's contest?
Well, the one good thing is South Brunswick graduates 16 of their starters from last year. The bad news is they do have a few talented players coming back and a couple people coming in that are going to fill the shoes of those people. East Brunswick, if you look on the positive side, they only lose 4 starters, but like you said before, they only had 1 win. So even though it might look like the records, East Brunswick 1 win and South Brunswick 10, it should be a little bit more competitive since South Brunswick lost all those people and East Brunswick has a lot back.
Last year, the game was not a complete blowout against South Brunswick. It was, I think, about 45-20. But still, East Brunswick has to have some people step up. And who can we look forward to tonight to step up for the Bears?
Yeah, East Brunswick has their quarterback back, John Gerhardt. He filled in for Matt Sy last year, who went down with some injuries, so he got some valuable experience. Chris Ramos is back in the backfield for East Brunswick, who started last year. And they have quite a few players on defense back as well. They have Michael Quinnan's back. They have a couple other starters back, that Lee Urschel in the secondary, who had a lot of tackles and played well for them. So, you know, they have some experience back. South Brunswick has a few new players, but, you know, South Brunswick has a receiver, TJ Taylor, who's going to Rutgers on a scholarship. So that's someone East Brunswick's got to watch out for, as well as their quarterback, TJ Perkowski, is back for South Brunswick as well, who played last year.
Now, the Vikings lost in the state semis to Sayreville after beating Sayreville in the regular season. Is this kind of unfinished business for them?
Yeah, I think it might be. South Brunswick also has a new coach this year. Forget his first name, but Coach Mance, who was there, who was at Hillsborough first and then South Brunswick left. So they have a new system in place. They're going to run the triple option. So I think, you know, the first couple games, they're probably going to get their feet wet and get used to the new system and the new coach as well. So this might be a good opportunity for East Brunswick, you know, coming in ready, maybe to catch South Brunswick by surprise a little bit.
One other factor here, Richie, when we're standing down here on the field, it is muggy. It is warm. The sun has gone down behind the trees here, behind the press box, but conditioning has to be a factor tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and that's, you know, a lot of times the first game with teams, it's a team that's, you know, well-conditioned, especially as the game goes on in the tight game, the third and fourth quarter, you can expect to see, you know, maybe the team that has the better conditioning might be the team that's able to pull this off.
And we'll be back for the opening kickoff in just a moment.
Welcome back to J. Doyle Field. We just had the coin toss awaiting the opening kickoff here. First game of the year, East Brunswick versus South Brunswick. Just to recap, East Brunswick 1-9 last year, South Brunswick 10-1. East Brunswick returns everyone but 4 starters. South Brunswick has 16 starters that are lost, but a couple big-time players that are back for them. East Brunswick is going to receive the opening kickoff here. One thing I forgot to mention in the pregame that I wanted to, the Bears' leading tackler from last year, Matt Bedden, linebacker with 63 tackles, is their returning tackler. Didn't get to mention that in the pregame.
Little slip there.
And just to let our viewers know, Ken Saroka, who was with me during the pregame, is a little bit under the weather, so I have with me Kevin McAvoy, the longtime teacher and coach at East Brunswick.
Oh, thanks, Rich. Good to be here. Glad I could substitute and fill in.
And that was Chris Ramos, number 27 for East Brunswick. Not the most ideal return there, so the Bears will be starting at their 11-yard line.
Was that Johnny Gerhardt starting the quarterback,
Yep.
Rich?
Exactly. Number 5, John Gerhardt's there.
Here's Chris around the side. I think I saw a flag thrown too, Rich.
Yeah, it looked like maybe a hold on East Brunswick on their end. Yeah, they got that on. So they got that on number 84 for East Brunswick. I thought a tough call. I was kind of looking at that there. Didn't really see that hold. So East Brunswick is going to be pushed back a little bit. Still first down.
Oof, are we going half the distance
Half
back?
the distance, exactly. Okay. So be about a 1st and 16 here for East Brunswick.
Not the kind of start that the coaching staff was looking for.
It remains first down, 1st and 18 for the Bears.
Beautiful night for the start of the game.
It is. It's a little bit humid, but the field now, the sun's down. No sun out there, so should be better conditions as the game goes on as well. East Brunswick, Gerhardt's in the shotgun here. Motion by Matt Bennon.
Nice fake.
Gerhardt's goes around the right side there. Looked like he picked up at least the yards that they lost on that hold there. So it should be 2nd and 10 here on the 11.
And what's the status on John's health? He was a little shaken up last season and recovered during the school year. Did a real nice track season. Is he 100%?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's 100%. You know, got some experience last year until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I know Coach Borden is expecting some big things from here this year.
Okay. So as a matter of fact, I see Ken Saroka making his way back up here, so I'm going to exit out of here and give this headset back to Mr. Saroka. Thanks
Great.
a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin.
Welcome back there, Ken. How you feeling?
Thank you. Yeah, it is just really ungodly hot in this booth.
Yeah, we really, it's getting nicer outside, but right now in this booth, even with the windows open, it's stagnant.
Yeah.
There's no breeze, so.
Did have a chance to watch that first play from the back of the end zone.
They had a decent run, got called for a hold, and then Gerhardt's had a nice run. So now we got about a 3rd and, looks like a 3rd and 9 here.
But I really don't know if you can run wide. I think their linebackers and defensive backs are very quick. I think might be better served to try to push it right up the middle. Double kind of reverse handoff. And
that was Chris Ramos.
Chris Ramos gets to about the 15. So overall, a gain of about 4 yards on that drive. We'll bring up a 4th down. There are also some very nasty clouds circling to our north. And it's getting worse, but it looks like they were spinning north of us heading toward the city. Snap is good. The punt is blocked. Straight up in the air. Ball's going to land at about the 17-yard line and go out of bounds. Somebody got a hand on that.
And sometimes players don't realize it, but really special teams is an area where if you win that battle and, you know, make a big play like that, that can really turn the tide of the game. So South Brunswick's in great field position here.
Again, one of the few players who returned for South Brunswick, their quarterback.
Correct, right. TJ Taylor. TJ Perkowski. TJ Taylor is the standout wide receiver for them.
Looked like there was movement inside there. Yes, there was. The right guard jumped the snap.
1st down.
And you know what, you expect to see this a little bit. Both teams' first game, you're going to see some penalties that you might not see as the year goes on. You know, there's some new players in. Even though they've had practice, this is the first real game for them. So, you know, you expect that a little bit in the first couple games for both teams.
1st and 15 from the 24-yard line. Flanker screen. And there's Taylor And they're going to get a penalty, looks like, for a horse collar. No, I don't think so. Didn't catch it. Maybe there's no penalty for that, but there was certainly a horse collar tackle at the end of that, bringing Taylor down just short of the first down marker. So it'll bring up a second down, call it a long 1, maybe 2. The Vikings in a hurry-up offense here. Taylor split to the top of your screen. Inside handoff.
Quarterback kept it there.
Quarterback kept it, tucked it back in, and Perkowski runs it in from 12 yards, 11 yards out. Perkowski with the 11-yard touchdown run, and at the 9:36 left to go mark in this first quarter, the Vikings have gone up 6-0 pending the completion of the extra point. Dylan Olson, but an attempted pass or fake play there goes and is botched up, so the convert is no good. 6-0 our score here. This game will be rebroadcast Thursday, the 13th of September at 8:30 p.m. and Friday, November 9th at 11:30 a.m. on a weekend filled with East Brunswick fall sports. I'd like to take a moment to thank the EBTV technical crew for coming out. They do a great job promoting East Brunswick High School athletics. We thank them for coming out. They come out about 2 hours before game time and set it all up. And they're the ones wondering right now if it's going to rain.
Exactly, and we just saw on the TV there, Marcus Borden, the East Brunswick coach, his 30th year as the head coach for the Bears.
And what a wonderful job Marcus Borden did with the annual Snapple Bowl, reading that raised $47,000 this year, which is an incredible amount, split between two worthy charities. The Lakeview School in Edison is one. I'm not sure what the other charity is, but the annual competition between Union and Middlesex County Football All-Stars was held here at East Brunswick High School. John Gerhardt is one of 3 back to return this kick for the Bears, including Chris Ramos.
And Lee Urschel as well is back there. He's another returner for the Bears.
And the kick is high, and it's heading into the end zone. Better field position to start with for the Bears, as the kickoff's coming from the 40-yard line now. Get a good chance to a good kicker to drive one into the end zone.
Yeah, high school football, it gets in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback, so you don't have the option of running it back out. So, like you said, Ken, it's a big advantage if you can get your kicker to kick it there.
Well, you're talking to someone who grew up in a time in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, where Neshaminy High School had Matt and Chris Barr as not only soccer players, but they're field goal kickers for the football team. All right, Bears starting at the second possession of the 20-yard line. Gerhardt's calls the play, snap, handoff, and the keeper by Gerhardt's running up the middle. Positive yardage there for Gerhardt as he gets to the 28. And that's what I said. I thought in looking at the way that one play broke at the first drive, that the interior linemen are not mobile. They're not big, but they're also not quick.
Right.
So good blocking schemes that can negate those players pretty easily here.
Yeah, and you know, East Brunswick kind of shot themselves in the foot the first possession with that hold, where, you know, they're not one of those teams that's going to convert. Not a lot of teams are, you know, first and longs when you have those situations. So East Brunswick just wants to get positive yards each down and keep South Brunswick's offense off the field.
Matt Benton lining up in the backfield now. Gerhardt's at the snap, hands it off. Benton's trying to get back into the line of scrimmage and actually loses yards as he tried to bounce it outside. Maybe no gain would be the best situation there. Matt Benton, now no gain. They're going to mark that right at the 28-yard line, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for the Bears. This is the opening week of football, not just in the NFL, but in New Jersey high school competitions here at the Greater Middlesex Conference. If we have a minute, Rich, you talk about the new groupings now with this special Group 5.
You know what? That's funny because I really didn't realize that I was looking up some information the last couple days, and I was looking for East Brunswick, and in Group 4 I couldn't find them, and then I saw the Group 5.
Keeping it is Gerhardt. He's going to try to get to the 30. Gets there, running a little bit too much east and west and not enough north and south, but manages to get his head across the 30-yard line and pick up the Bears' first down.
And Coach Borden, in some of his interviews and talking to the media, you know, he's happy with the returners, but one thing he was saying is that they don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a ton of size. So, you know, they really want to be able to sustain some drives here and keep South Brunswick off the field.
But for all that complaints about East Brunswick never having size, never having speed, we've got 2 Group 4 championships under our belts in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So it's just the right kind of talented athletes. Well, that time, the South Brunswick defense, interior defense there, got in on Gerhardt and tackled him for a loss. 56, Kenneth Drost got in there, among others.
And a couple of those guys that you were talking about that were part of the latest championship, Mike Weber's at Wagner. Some other guys from East Brunswick in college. Julian Quinnen is at Stony Brook. His brother Michael is playing. Jared Lynch at Marist. Justin Price at Albright. Hayden Warren, who just recently was playing there, is at Widener. Josh Todd at Widener, and Nick Goodzak at Widener. So Widener with a few East Brunswick products there.
Keeping it on the ground again, and Gerhardt's going to bust it up the middle, but the ball's on the ground. I think we're going to have it called down by contact. Yes, the side judge has it as down by contact. Gerhardt's got to about the 35. Maybe the nose of the ball will be ahead of the 35, but it'll still bring up a long conversion here, a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, good run there by Gerhardt. He's got to be careful when he goes through traffic like that to really hold on to the ball. He's kind of holding that ball out there, and you know, he's trying his hardest to get those extra yards, but that's sometimes where you lose the ball, when you're reaching the ball out and you're not protecting it.
East Brunswick has kept it on the ground. No attempts in the air just yet. Again, 3rd now and 7. Ramos in motion. Gerhardt's quarterback draw and no gain, maybe a loss of 1, as again penetration by the interior.
And I like what East Brunswick's doing in terms of having Gerhardt in the shotgun there. He faked the draw there, and then it almost looked to me like he was looking for Ramos, who was coming in motion, to maybe pitch it if it wasn't there. But when he looked back, Ramos was already too far ahead. So I don't know if that was a botched play there, or that, you know, Ramos you know, was in the wrong spot.
Chris Jones already had one punt block. This one he gets away. And it's taken at the 35 by Dion Hooper, who brings it out to almost the 45-yard line, where South Brunswick will start 1st and 10. 4:42 left to go in the first quarter. You're watching EBTV coverage of East Brunswick High School athletics. I'm Ken Saroka, along with Richie Whalen. East Brunswick TV will be covering other fall sports, including the September 13th boys soccer game against Monroe, the October 11th boys soccer game against Old Bridge. You can tune to the library website or the EBTV website to stream on demand all of these East Brunswick sports broadcasts. Perkowski, inside handoff, and bouncing it for about a 5-yard gain is Dahray Ford. Dahray Ford was tripped up, but his momentum, good balance, got him an additional 2 yards. So it looks like a gain of 5 and a 2nd and 5. Perkowski keeping it, gets the first down and goes right out of bounds, crashing into somebody on the South Brunswick sideline there. Now that, as opposed to the Gerhardt's runs, that looked more of a designed, I'm going right there.
Exactly.
As opposed to pick a hole to look at what you're doing and find the hole. Inside handoff. in this case, Bukowski's doing a good job faking that ball because I had another inside handoff.
I think he did do a good job there, but I think he probably should have gave that ball to Ford. Looked like Ford maybe had a few yards there. He kept it and got stopped there for maybe a gain of 1.
Hurry up offense here by the Vikings. Back to pass, throws it downfield, looking for Taylor, incomplete. Good coverage on the play, but that pass was just a little long.
Yeah, it looked like Chris Ramos and Lee Urschel was there, and I think, smartly, East Brunswick is shading a safety over the top of Taylor, and they're...
Well, you can't shade an East Brunswick safety over the top of Taylor. Taylor is 6'3".
True. They're having someone back there where at least they can have a couple guys covering there, and you know what? They're giving them a decent cushion there. First play, South Brunswick threw to them. They threw a little hitch, so maybe you'll see that a little bit just to get them the ball in space.
Taylor split to the bottom of your screen, rolling out Prokowski, throwing against his body, looking for a man and getting him downfield. That's Dante Strickland. And Strickland pulls in the catch at the 12-yard line before tumbling out of bounds. Big gain there.
Yeah, it looked like the secondary for East Brunswick just didn't get quite enough depth. Got to give credit to TJ Prokowski there. He rolled out to ball some time, and that's not an easy throw thrown across your body. He had some nice touch on that ball as well. 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Prokowski with the pitch. Missed tackles, 2 missed tackles, as Dion Hooper gets it down to about the 5-yard line. Gain of 7, gain of 8. Yeah, Michael Quinn did a good job there getting some penetration, but just, the angle that he came at the back there, he couldn't corral him there. Could have been maybe a loss of a yard or 2.
Okay, 2nd and 5 now. Ball's at the 8-yard line. Inside handoff to Hooper, untouched until he gets right to the end zone. Touchdown, South Brunswick.
It looked about a 7-yard run there for Dion Hooper. We'll see what South Brunswick looks like. They're just going for the extra point here, even though they missed the other one. So a lot of time left in the game, so you don't really have to worry about getting it back with the 2-point conversion yet.
Dylan Olson to line up the extra point. And the extra point is good. Our score with 2:55 left to go in this first quarter. The Vikings of South Brunswick 13 and the Bears no score. Again, last year South Brunswick went through the Middlesex County Red Division, 10-0 record overall, beat Sayreville in the regular season, but came across Sayreville in the semis.
Right.
And lost.
Yeah, it was really, last year was an excellent year for GMC teams. South Brunswick had a great team. Piscataway had a good team as well. Sayreville had a nice team. A couple other teams as well were pretty good. So, South Brunswick, and we see Marcus Borden here. He's not happy about something with the, we went out to kind of talk to the referees there, but, South Brunswick loses all these players, and but they have their quarterback back. They have a standout receiver, and then they have some other guys that are making some plays here. So they're able to reload after a great season last year and losing most of those players.
Same 3 back for the Bears. Gerhardt, Urschel, and Ramos. Dylan Olson kicking off from the 40-yard line from the far hash mark. This one, however, is going to get called back for some reason here.
Might be an offsides.
They're going to bring it back. Let's listen in for the call.
White on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Right, encroachment. The guy crossed the 40 before the ball was kicked, so they'll move him back 5. Well, East Brunswick's got to dig in a little bit here. It's obviously not the start that they wanted or coach wanted, but you know, it's the first game of the season here. You need some leadership here. See if you can put together a good drive, get some first downs, get some positive stuff going.
Gerhardt's at the 9. Brings it out to the 35-yard line, 26-yard return.
Nice return and some real nice blocking there as well by EB. Making some good blocks to open up a little hole for him. And I like Gerhardt's there, just ran north and south, got as many yards as he could, and East Brunswick has their best starting field position of the game here.
Bears did get one first down on their last drive. So Bears offense starting to find its way. Breeze starting to pick up here, coming though from the south, which usually in this time of year means a little warmer breeze. Gerhardt's again with the keeper, breaks 3 tackles, and a face mask is going to be called there at the end of that run as TJ Taylor, who also plays on defense, tackled Gerhardt's.
Foul, face mask on defense.
So the penalty yardage will make it an automatic first down as it'll tack 15 yards on the end of that run. And the Bears now are on the positive side of midfield as they are in Viking territory for the first time. Matt Benton will line up behind Gerhardt's. Also in the backfield, Jason Parker.
Really overloaded here to the left side.
Pitch is to Benton. Gets off left tackle. Brings it to about the 45-yard line. Matt Benton gets about 3. Gerhardt's running back in with the play now. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Be nice for the Bears to put some points on the board in this drive. Gerhardt's looking things over. Ramos comes behind. Benton in motion. Deep handoff. Benton, and that play just took too long.
Yeah. Took too long. Benton was sort of dancing around a little bit. He didn't see a hole there, and that was just kind of doomed to fail from the beginning. So,
well, if you don't have a really fast or super strong back, you cannot be giving the handoff 7 yards deep.
Exactly.
Okay, it's not O.J. Simpson. It's not Tony Dorsett or one of those backs that can just find ways to get through people.
Even, East Brunswick's line isn't the biggest either, so, they're not going to be, the longer time you give, the more penetration South Brunswick's going to get. It's more, positioning and then opening up some holes. So these are the third down that East Brunswick needs to convert to stay in this game. About a 3rd and 6 here.
Wide receivers are split. Possible passing down. Gerhardt's rolling. Will throw downfield, overthrows his receiver, Anthony Fisher. Play was there. The pass was there, just overthrown by Gerhardt's.
Yeah, it's easy up here to say, but as he's rolling out there, he just needs to set his feet for a second. He had some protection. He rolled out. There really wasn't anyone too close to him, and it looks like Coach Borden is just seeing how the game is going. It's tough to stop South Brunswick, so he's going to go for it here. I actually, like this call.
So a 4th down and 6 here. Bears on the 44-yard line, and South Brunswick's going to call timeout. They're curious as to what is going to go on here. Why? Basically the same formation that was trudged out there the last play. 1 wide receiver split to each side, and South Brunswick coach calls timeout.
And we get a good look there at Joseph I don't know if it's George or Gorgie, and he's the new head coach for South Brunswick. He's got to be happy with the start to his team.
Did I read something over the summer that there was some problem between the Board of Ed and the old coach or something?
I think so.
That in South Brunswick?
Yeah, you know what? I've been hearing actually a few things with that, not only in football, but some other sports as well. So not quite sure as to what was going on, but I did hear some of that as well.
School has started here at East Brunswick High School. The Bear Den, the marching band. It's a pretty good turnout for a very hot, muggy kind of night here. Man in motion is Ramos. Gerhardt spins, turns, looking for that first down marker, and does not get it. Got yanked down. Somebody's on the stomach there, and looks like somebody's hurt on that sideline.
Looks like number 17, Matt Bennon, is a little shaken up. You know, with the East Brunswick, like Coach Borden was talking about before the season, East Brunswick's lack of depth. There's a number of people, including Matt Bennon there, who are going both ways. You know, high school football, that happens a lot, but on a night like this, when you're on the field all day, it can take a toll.
So South Brunswick will take over on downs at their own 41-yard line. Perkowski under center. Darray Ford behind, in motion Hooper. The pitch, whoa, backed up Hooper. Hooper trying to find some room, picks up a nice block, although they're gonna call that one. I guess maybe he didn't get quite the amount of shoulders on that one, but we're gonna have to wait for the call here on that from the officiating crew.
I thought that was a good block.
We've got the offense with a block in the back.
You know, what's tough on that, he has his head on the correct side. The guy that he's blocking sort of have his back turned a little bit to him, but, you know, that's a tough call, and it's a tough call as a referee to make as well, because it's sort of like that basketball charge or block call where, you know, it's not that it's an opinion, but, you know, the way you see it can be a little bit different sometimes. I thought it was a good block where he had his head on the correct side.
Bears had a chance to trap Hooper. That pitch went backwards and was not exactly, you know, the way it was drawn up, but he eluded a couple of tackles.
And that's one thing you got to be careful of with quick backs. If you over pursue, you know, that could have been a nice play for South Brunswick.
Inside handoff to Ford. Wrapped up by the defense. Pickup of only about 3, maybe 4.
And that's going to end the first quarter.
End of first quarter with our score: South Brunswick 13, East Brunswick 0. Well, again, this game is going to be rebroadcast on Thursday, September 13th, and on Friday, November 9th. That Friday, November 9th, and that Saturday and Sunday will be a marathon of East Brunswick's fall sports. Other sports that East Brunswick TV, EBTV is covering: girls soccer, September 27th, game against the Hun School, and October 4th against Monroe. We'll have a gymnastics meet against South Brunswick on October 16th. Girls volleyball on the 15th and the 17th of October, as well as field hockey on the 9th.
One other nice thing that is offered by EBTV, you can get all the events that you see on here on demand on the website, www.ebtv3.org. You can see it on the screen here. So if you go to that, you have the videos on demand. So you're sitting on your computer and want to get the game, you can go on there and click on there and watch whatever game you want.
Not bad for just a local public.
I'll tell you what,
they do a great job.
They do an excellent job. East Brunswick here, you know, they have to worry about the next play. They just had a nice stop there. South Brunswick has a second and long. This is where you want to, if you're East Brunswick, I think you want to watch out for TJ Taylor, that you want to maybe shade your safety over that way. I would think South Brunswick would maybe take a shot.
2nd and 19, the handoff inside to Ford. Rather conservative call there, but On a 2nd and 19, you'd think that they would try to gain a bit more of that chunk of yardage back.
Yeah, and the thinking now, East Brunswick a 3rd and long, they got to be thinking throw. So maybe if you do that on a 2nd down play, you catch them by surprise a little bit in maybe a coverage that is a little bit better.
3rd and 22, excuse me. I had that wrong there. That was, yep, about 3rd and 20. That was 3rd and 20, 2nd and 25. So here we go, 3rd and 22. Bukowski, straight back drop, firing down the sideline, overthrows his receiver. Went to the other side, Yusuf Harrison.
Well, in part by the penalty on South Brunswick, but East Brunswick defensively does a nice job. Is going to get the ball back here. Doesn't get much easier for the Bears after this week. They play at Sayreville, who John Haley, the columnist for the Star-Ledger, has Sayreville as the 2nd-ranked team in the county. South Brunswick, he had 3rd rank, so doesn't get
Who's
easier.
first?
I believe he has Piscataway as the #1 team.
Ball out, not a good punt, hurried punt, but did not get blocked, and it's going to be down by Taylor at the 36-yard line. Bears again will have decent field position to start.
Number 8, Austin Brooks, bounces down to the East Brunswick 36.
Now this might be, you want to set some type of routine and get your offense going here, but this might be a decent time if you're East Brunswick. On a 1st down, you just get the ball back. If you have some type of play, maybe a throw or something that you want to try, this might be a good time to try it here.
Bears moving right to left on your TV screen in the home green uniforms, white numerals. South Brunswick in white with black and gold trim. Parker in the backfield along with Benton. Gerhardt's in the shotgun. Will take it himself and gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard.
East Brunswick number 5, John Gerhardt's on carry, stop made by South Brunswick number 56. 1 yard, 2nd down, 9.
2nd and 9.
And one thing I was reading in the Star-Ledger, South Brunswick coach said one of the things that might be a weakness was his D-line. They're doing a pretty decent job here tonight.
Back to throw. Gerhardt's looking down the sideline. Good coverage there. South Brunswick, Amir Johnson. Anthony Fisher down that sideline, running between the numbers and the sideline, but Gerhardt's could not drop it in.
And East Brunswick tried to open it up a little bit. I'm not quite sure if the matchups for them, their receivers on South Brunswick's D-backs are, an advantage for them. So, I like them trying it, but it might be something where they're just a little bit outmatched with the.
Well, I mean,
receiver.
Taylor's 6'3", he's back there. Dion Hooper's back there, he's 6. He's the shortest one at 5'10". You have 6 foot Dante Strickland also back there. So,
and they're fast.
Yeah. So maybe something that opens up more quickly there. Gerhardt's going to go and try to duck his shoulder and head forward to the 40. But again, not a very large gain there, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 7. And this time, Coach Borden's going to send in the punt team as Chris Jones comes back to punt. Dion Hooper is back to return for South Brunswick. Nice snap. But an end-over-end wobbly kick that went out of bounds.
Maybe around the 45-ish.
Yeah. So that punt goes 20 yards.
Right. That's where you say as a coach, I just should have gone for it after you don't hit the punt the way you want. But I guess.
Well, it's been an adventure today. Well, the first punt was blocked, second punt was good, third punt.
Right, and that might be part of the thinking with the punter there for East Brunswick, that the first one you got blocked, and then you kind of rush a little bit and you don't hit the ball as cleanly as you want, and sometimes that happens.
And then we can hear the official yelling at Dare Ford to fix his chin strap. Prokowski drops back, rolls left, throws against his body. Has his man on the outside. That's Taylor. Gets through one tackle, still on his feet, and gets down to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 20 yards on that play. Most of those are YAC, yards after catch.
Yep. And Taylor just ran about an 8-yard out. East Brunswick is giving him respect and giving him a nice cushion, and once you get him in space there, then like you said, the run after catch or yards after catch, he's able to make it a bigger play.
Prokowski hit as he delivers the ball. Ball is on the ground, and the Bears come up with it. I don't remember who took it, who knocked it out, but Fadi Bashara picks it up. As that pass was complete to Yusuf Harrison. Harrison tried to dance a little bit too much, getting a little freewheeling with the ball, and it got knocked out of his hands. So first turnover of the game against South Brunswick gives the ball back to the Bears at the 40.
And I was kind of watching where the ball was going, but someone from East Brunswick laid a pretty good hit on Prokowski there, and that's what you need to do. You need to
chase, to rattle, to
chase
get in his
right,
face.
exactly.
Gerhardt will roll right, looks downfield. Had Benton turned around, Benton had a linebacker in coverage. Matt Benton had Ken Drust, but again, the ability to throw on the run.
Yeah, and I understand Coach Borden, he wants to call those plays where he's rolling out. East Brunswick's offensive line might be a little undersized, and it gives you more time to throw it, but especially as a high school kid, that's a tough throw. If once in a while he could stay in the pocket, be able to set his feet and see down the field and have his feet set, those throws are easier. So those throws aren't easy.
Parker in the backfield, Ramos in motion. Parker with the carry, trying to break the tackles. Gets twisted like a pretzel backward. Loss of yardage on the play.
Yeah, it looked like that snap was for Gerhardt, and it was a little bit off center. Parker picked it up, and he might have been better just to sort of almost go down with it or just run a little upfield. He tried to make something of it and ended up losing a few yards. And
third and 17. Yeah, what kind of play in your playbook do you have for a 3rd and 17?
Yeah, East Brunswick's having trouble picking up yards. This is tough. I mean, maybe Ramos has some good speed. Maybe a little screen to Ramos or maybe get him involved. See if looks like a linebacker might be on him here. That might be a good matchup for East Brunswick.
Ramos in motion, inside handoff to Parker. Nothing doing there, and a loss again, more yardage lost. So it looked to be a promising start here with the Bears getting the fumble recovery on their own 40, and after 3 plays, they lost 8 yards.
Yeah, and South Brunswick's D-backs are pretty good when you want to throw the ball. I think you got to look for maybe a couple of your backs or Ramos, someone like that, if they can get a linebacker or someone on there where they have a little bit of an advantage and try to exploit that a little bit.
Dion Hooper back deep for the Vikings to receive this punt. Snap is good. The rush is on. And once again, I don't know if that was a tip.
Yeah, they got a piece.
And it goes out of bounds at about the 40, maybe even marked closer.
And I was kind of thinking when Chris Jones is catching the ball, it looks to me like he's a little bit close in terms of where he's lining up for it, and maybe taking just a little tiny bit too long, because it didn't really look like that was unbelievable pressure. It just kind of looked like it took a little longer.
From the East Brunswick.
This is an official's timeout. As again, it's very hot, very muggy on this field, and thankfully the sun is not hitting. This is an artificial grass, a field turf field, which does wonderful in wet conditions.
Right.
But we're talking about heat and humidity, and we were luckily down on that field for the intro, and the sun had just come behind the press box here at J. Doyle, and it was still very muggy there. And those familiar with the field know that the field is ringed like a U with big trees around it. So there's not a great deal of natural airflow unless that wind is whipping up from the north.
Exactly.
Perkowski has one touchdown rushing. Dion Hooper has the other.
Well, last first down play, South Brunswick threw the ball to Taylor. Let's see if they do that again.
The pitch to Hooper on the outside. Taylor's blocking downfield. Wrapped up nicely by Lee Urschel.
South Brunswick, number 5, Dion Hooper on the carry. Stop made by East Brunswick, number 28, Lee Urschel.
South Brunswick going quick here. No huddle.
Ford, the only back behind. In motion, Strickland. Quick hitter inside, goes nowhere, gain of 1.
Scott Dunleavy there with a nice stop, got some good penetration.
Third down and a long 2, call it 3 here, as the ball is, looks like for us, in between the 32 and the 33-yard line, and they have to get the nose of the ball to the 30. Perkowski under center, motion man again, Strickland, pitch wide, and he has the corner and manages to get the first down, still on his feet. And they say he stepped out at the 25, but it's still enough positive yardage for a Viking first down.
Yeah, good job there by South Brunswick, being able to let him get around the corner. Number 80 for East Brunswick, Sean O'Sullivan's got to make sure that he forces that play to the inside, because if they get outside of him, there's going to be yards after that. Easier said than done, but you know, the guy blocking him wants to force him inside, which he did there.
Taylor on the outside, Strickland in the slot, inside handoff. Ford gets about 4 yards, gets down to the 21. 6:38 remaining in the second quarter. Vikings up 13-0.
And South Brunswick, you know, going quick here, going to a little no huddle, trying to get in the rhythm. East Brunswick's a little, you know, trying to tire them out defensively.
Ford again, and this time penalty, and I don't know what that's for. We'll hear about that in a moment.
Illegal shift. 2 men moving. You got the end going down and the back getting settled.
All right, so it's a 5-yard penalty, two men moving, illegal motion. They're going to see what they want to do here. I would think they would send them back.
This here refused. Third down.
I think this might be 4-down territory anyway. It's a tough call whether to keep it 3rd and about 6 or move them back to 2nd and 11.
3rd and 6. Taylor split to the bottom of your screen. Perkowski's going to go back with it and trying to wrap up on Yusuf Harrison. Harrison drags a couple of people forward and probably gets the first down.
And I'll tell you, South Brunswick has, you know, they have some different weapons, receiver. They have a good quarterback. They have
wide receivers that are 6 foot plus.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Harrison's no slouch at 6'2". Taylor's 6'3".
Right. They have some quick running backs. They have Ford inside that keeps you honest as a fullback. So
pitch to Strickland. Strickland dancing through, gets inside the 5. Dante Strickland.
And really good kick-out block there for him to cut it up by one of the South Brunswick players.
gain of 9 yards. Second down, second.
First down, so first and goal now.
Right, they're telling the chains they can drop them now. And I think good timeout there by East Brunswick. Kind of, slow South Brunswick down a little bit. Let the defense catch its breath. Not sure how much East Brunswick was able to relay in what defenses they wanted if they were staying in the same one since they were going so quick. So I think a good timeout here by East Brunswick.
Again, this is the opening game of the 2012 season. The next EBTV game will be the September 28th game versus Monroe. East Brunswick last year opened with Monroe and struggled, and Monroe then went up against this South Brunswick team and got spanked.
Yeah.
All right, now it's again first and goal, ball on the 4-yard line. Perkowski has Ford and Hooper in the backfield. Hooper gets it and is wrestled down immediately. For the Bears, Michael Quinton. Second and goal, no gain.
Jason Parker, good penetration as well.
Numbers 2, Jason Parker, and number 50, Michael Quentin.
Perkowski on the keeper, trying to break it outside. It goes in untouched from 4 yards out.
Not the best effort there by East Brunswick.
And Perkowski was just looking. He was strolling. I mean, he wasn't running hard. He was just navigating his way through and not to even have a hand laid on
Yeah,
him.
it looked like a few Bears were there as well, and not sure if they were looking at the fullback for having the ball, but it sort of looked like he, just kind of ran by.
Extra point set up here. Again, South Brunswick with a now 20-point lead. Doesn't need to worry about that botched extra point attempt. Penalty marker down. Must have been movement on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Penalty marker on the play.
And something got under Coach Marcus Borden. He was, as soon as that flag was thrown and the whistle blown, he was out there yelling about something else. I mean, this is obviously a penalty on South Brunswick, but
You know what? He did that last time after the extra point, so I don't know if he's not happy with maybe the alignment.
White. Re-kick.
Because it happened at the same time, or it could be something that's just ongoing. But the last time South Brunswick had the extra point, he went on the field and wasn't happy either. So
everybody's ready to go, and the football, because they did kick that football, was in the end zone and nobody went and got it. So now we have a football to play with. Kick is good. Whistle was a little premature, but the kick was good.
right. And Dylan Olson looks like he's got a decent leg for South Brunswick, which might come in handy for them later in the year when they need some field goals.
Well, 20-0, 4:48 remaining. Time for one good drive here to put some points on the board before halftime for the Bears.
Yeah, one thing definitely East Brunswick wants to look at halftime and moving forward here. They've had 2 punts that have at least been partially blocked, and that in turn helped South Brunswick with a shorter field on that last score. So that's definitely something that they need to talk about, whether it's partly blocking, partly getting the ball off a little bit quicker. You can't do that against a team like South Brunswick and give them a short field. Well, it'd be nice here, East Brunswick, if they can get some decent field position in. They have a little under 5 minutes here to put some type of drive together to get into a rhythm a little bit going into halftime.
And again, the schedule for the Bears does not get any easier with red division opponents. Herschel, Ramos, and Gerhardt's back deep. And again, in the direction of Gerhardt's, who's going to let the ball bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
You know what? He's got to be careful there. That ball actually bounced before the goal line there, and if that ball takes, you know, a kick where it doesn't go in the end zone, South Brunswick can recover that and score. So I would just kind of mention to him, kind of stay around the ball, make sure it does go in the end zone, because that would definitely not be good.
Ball spotted on the 20-yard line. Again, 4:48 remaining first half. On a steamy, sticky, muggy, ugly weather kind of night with thunderstorms looming, but not here. I'm Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen, broadcasting all the action to you on EBTV. Gerhardt's inside handoff, now keeper. Stead now pitches it to Betten. Betten gets just barely across the 20.
And for East Brunswick, the one guy that a couple times when he got the ball showed a little bit of speed getting to the outside is Ramos. I'd like to see him be able to have that opportunity to try to turn the corner. He did on the first play from scrimmage, but they got called for a hold on that.
Injured South Brunswick player down, looks maybe more like a cramp. And that's something here that with the extreme heat, surprised we haven't seen more of.
Yeah, I know East Brunswick's trainer, Phil Hostler, really does a good job of, you know, in all situations, but especially with keeping kids hydrated and, you know, going in and letting them know, you know, before the game to drink enough water. You can never get enough water during the game. It's really the water you drink before the game to keep yourself hydrated. You can't sort of catch up and drink a lot during the game. So.
Second down and 10. No gain on that last run by Betten. Bears have yet to complete a pass for positive yardage here. Ball on the ground. Fumble and wrestling match ensues. And they are going to give it to South Brunswick. Thought Gerhardt's had it and was on the ground, but I guess in falling on it, it squirted loose. And
yeah, it sort of came to be a wrestling match with the ball because it looked like they were both sort of there at the same time. That's about the second time that the snap's been pretty quick and down at his feet. One time, Jason Parker was able to corral it. That time, Gerhardt's couldn't. And that's a one thing when you do. East Brunswick's been in the shotgun the whole day. That's one thing that's can be a little bit, tricky sometimes when you got a guy coming at you to. You're worried about blocking the guy in front of you, and you.
Well, again, we bring up the conditions out here. It is muggy. That ball is probably wet and slick. I mean, it's not unusual, not out of the question to think that just slipped out of the center's hands. Okay, changing quarterback here. Amir Johnson lines up under center, rolls out, looking to keep it, gets around the corner here, trying to get it inside. Gets down to about the 12-yard line. A little bit of trickeration there.
Yeah, almost looked like he was looking for someone else to be coming and didn't, and decided to take it up there. And again, East Brunswick not doing a great job of holding that edge down. He's able to get to the edge. I saw number 24 for East Brunswick sort of came at a bad angle. Who's that end on that side? You have to have outside contain and force him inside with his speed.
Amir Johnson's going to stay in as Perkowski's on the sideline with his helmet off. Inside handoff, I think that's Dion Hooper. Gets it down to about the 10 maybe. Bring up a third down and we'll call it a long 2. We'll call it 3 now. Third down and 3 as the ball's on the outside of the 10. Perkowski's on the sideline. He's got his helmet off. And Amir Johnson, the sophomore, will take over under center. Ford, though, remains in. All the other key offensive players are in. That's Dante Strickland, untouched from 10 yards.
And was able just to burst around that left side, and you know, he went into another gear that East Brunswick players were not able to stop.
Extra point here. And the extra point is good. 27-0. With 3 minutes exactly left to go here in the first half.
You see Coach Bourne there also, Chris Yanaza, who's the coach there, is clapping and trying to get the team fired up a little bit. This is East Brunswick's first game. You know, it's a home opener. Obviously, you look up at the scoreboard and you have to be disappointed if you're East Brunswick, but you know what? You have 3 minutes left in this half. You have a second half. Yeah. So, and you have a whole season. So you really want to try to stay positive and see if you can get some positive things here, you know, before the half and then in the second half, because it is a long season. So this is where leadership is important, that you just have to play the next play. You can't, you know, you want to fix what happened before, but you can't, you know, keep thinking about what happened before. You got to go on to the next play. So let's see if East Brunswick can get something going here.
East Brunswick has had 2 punts partially blocked. A fumble. Did turn the ball, did turn South Brunswick over once, but gave it right back.
Yeah, and like you're saying, that, you know, the 2 block punts, the fumble, those things are correctable. It's not so much that South Brunswick, you know, they did a decent job forcing that, but
Gerhardt's picked it up on a bounce, and we'll bring it out to about the 28-yard line. Yeah, there haven't been the big plays. We had the one pass play that went for about 20 yards, but there hasn't been the 50-yard run or the 75-yard bomb.
You're right. Yeah, it's been a little bit more methodical, maybe a 10-yard gain here, 15-yard gain there.
Gerhardt's now under center. Full house backfield behind him. And they try to get the ball to Ramos. He tried to bounce it off left tackle for no gain, though. Ramos.
2 and 10, guys. 2 and 10.
And East Brunswick trying to, you know, get the ball in the hands of some other people, see if they can sort of exploit something here. You know, so far the best for East Brunswick's offense has been Gerhardt's himself, has had some, you know, decent runs.
Yeah, they haven't gotten anything from anybody else in the running game, and certainly without any passing game to speak of. Gerhardt's rolling right now. Will throw back against his body and throws it incomplete. It was a forward pass, so it is an incomplete. I think Gerhardt's got a little, you know, spooked there because there's nobody around him.
Right.
He's expecting a rush, and he threw it way too early.
Yeah. You know what? I do like the play call. East Brunswick, everything said it's going to the right there. They roll them out right, and they sort of have that screen on the backside for Ramos, and they, you know, just didn't quite execute it well, but.
Second and 10, 3rd and 10. Double handoff, and again, it's going nowhere fast because it's taking too long to develop, and East Brunswick's line is not pushing downfield. They're getting pushed into the backfield.
Exactly. So.
Fourth down, a loss of 3 on that play, so a 4th down, ball on the 25. And, you know, Gerhardt is out there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The punting team is out there. I didn't see Chris Jones, but he's there. TJ Taylor now back deep to return. End over end punt, a good punt. Nice hop and a bounce toward that sideline. Taylor brings it up to the middle of the field. And Jason Parker meets him, greets him, and plants him firmly at the 40-yard line.
So we'll see how aggressive here.
Well, that was a good punt because putting it close to the sideline, between the numbers and the sideline, having it bounce as it did, not much options. You have to come to the middle, and by that time, Taylor going east and west gave the Bears a chance to pursue.
And looks like maybe South Brunswick just huddling up. It will be interesting to see how aggressive South Brunswick is here. They do have good field position. They're already up 27-0, so we'll see if they're real aggressive here or
well,
maybe happy that they're up 27-0 and don't want to do anything too crazy.
They better hurry or they're going to get a delay of game call.
5, and the ref is counting down from 5, so they are going to get one here. Good call there, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have the one referee will start counting down when there's 5 seconds left, sort of like a closely guarded in basketball where from 5 seconds on that, you know, you can see him if you're the quarterback. But South Brunswick, by the time they got out there, he was already counting.
Amir Johnson under center is trying to pitch the ball. Is wrapped up and brought down. Fadi Bashara, who recovered the fumble earlier in this half, drops Amir Johnson for a significant loss, an 11-yard loss.
I think East Brunswick has 2 timeouts left here, so I might, after this one, call a timeout and at least have South Brunswick, if you can stop them, maybe have to punt the ball to you because South Brunswick's not going to be in any hurry here.
Well, 30 seconds left here. They're gonna run this down pretty much to the time count. Johnson under center, hands off to 4. Nope, keeps it himself, and again.
I call a timeout if I'm East Brunswick here. I think they have 2.
No, I think Coach Borden not content to play that game here with only 12 seconds left. And that's the end of the first half. With the score, South Brunswick Vikings 27, East Brunswick Bears 0. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment.
second inning. Here's the pitch, and it's a single to left field. East Brunswick takes the lead. Third inning, and it's time for our lucky fan dizzy bat race. Today's contestants are in section C, seats 4 and 5. Come on down. And the winner is C5. Now direct your attention to home plate as our Grizzly Bear ground crew comes out for your entertainment. Joining them tonight is the Kodiak Drumline. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. You can see the East Brunswick Marching Band again next week at Sayreville as East Brunswick travels to Sayreville for another football game. Have a great night.
Second half almost ready to get underway here at J. Doyle Field. Bears trail the Vikings of South Brunswick 27-0. Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen. Richie, not a really good way to start the year. I mean, but at least there are some moments of optimism here with this. The defense did shut South Brunswick down a couple of times.
And I'm not sure if we said this on air or not. You made a good point that South Brunswick really hasn't had that real long play. You know, they've had some, decent runs, but nothing where, a 30, 40, 50-yard run there. And you have a whole second half here. I'm sure Coach Borden at halftime, it's early in the season, wanted to stay positive, but, saying we have a whole nother half out here as well. So looks like they might be going onside here to start.
Yep, it does look like that as the Bears are lined up, ready to go here. For the Bears, John Boyko is kicking here as South Brunswick brings more people up to the 50. Nobody's back, but now dropping back is Dante Strickland. And wouldn't you know, it ball did go 10 yards, and picking it up is Gerhards for the Bears.
And number 21 for South Brunswick there had a pretty good shot at the ball. It really didn't take that bounce that I'm sure Boyko wanted and sort of went through his legs. And East Brunswick did a good job of pouncing on the ball, so good start there by EB.
Bears only managed, I believe, 2 first downs, 1 on a penalty and 1 from scrimmage in that entire first half. A lot of plays for negative yards as the offensive line just can't control the line of scrimmage.
And East Brunswick really overloaded on the right side here.
Parker, now Hemmings back to throw, has his man downfield, had Anthony Fisher downfield, but could not reach him. Fisher had to come back for it, and by that time, Amir Johnson on the defensive coverage there for South Brunswick.
So you can expect to see some of this by East Brunswick. They're down 27-0. They got to try some trickery here, and you know, in that situation, it's easier said than done, but you don't want to underthrow that one. So that could have been a big play if not.
But at least there, having time to set your feet as opposed to rolling Gerhardt's out and having him throw on the run as he did several times, attempting to at least. Ball
on the ground.
And all that positive momentum gone as the exchange between Gerhardt's and Parker, if that was a fake, it ended up coming off of Parker's hip and bouncing on the turf.
And that's a tough thing with those reads, you know, because you're putting the ball in the belly of the running back, and as a quarterback, you're making a decision with a certain defensive player whether to keep it there or pull it back. So that can happen if, you know, especially earlier in the year when you're, you know, trying to get the reps in a game. And like you were talking before, it looks like, I'm not sure exactly what happened to Perkowski, but he's not in to start here the second half.
Dion Hooper. Okay. Bears have been reasonably strong on covering those runs up the middle. But that was usually Darray Ford. I'm trying to look on the bench there. I don't see Perkowski up front. But again, I'm trying to look through traffic there. The pitch. Hooper shaking, trying to dance his way out. Gets strung out long enough, and again, that was a good play there, and to string it out, force him to dance even further laterally.
Right, and then a couple good hits there by East Brunswick. A couple of guys look like maybe Ramos there, and maybe Urschel came up and gave a good stick there. So I like to see that to start the second half.
Well, if this is the case that Perkowski might have been nicked up a little bit, or just simply giving additional playing time to some of the underclassmen here with a 20-point lead. TJ Taylor gets the call there on the pass play. Tries to get it close. Yeah,
right on the marker.
Taylor already committing to Rutgers.
Looks like this could be a measurement here because it's right on where they need to. Well, it looks like maybe a tiny bit short.
And I guess that's a play we haven't seen. They haven't really thrown, except that 1 or 2 deep passes. They haven't really tried those kind of plays to get him in space.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe the very beginning of the game they threw that little hitch. But, you know, that's when a guy that versatile, you can do that, especially with the cushion they're giving him.
Inside handoff will get the first down here. Hooper on the carry picks up about 7 or 8 on the play, and it'll take it down to the 34-yard line, and South Brunswick will have it there, 1st and 10.
Again, going quick here, South Brunswick.
Hooper again. This time breaks through and has a lane and will get down and drags in. Were they going to give him the credit for the stretch? Yes, they give him the credit, and that's the first big play. 34 yards as Hooper pretty much got through the first and second lines of defense without being touched. and then dragged the defender forward 5 yards and managed to stretch to the end zone. And for Hooper, that's his second touchdown today.
Thing we have to, be aware of too for East Brunswick here is South Brunswick is a good team. They have, offensively they have a lot of different weapons. Defensively they have good players. So this is, in the preseason, which doesn't mean much. They're the 3rd ranked team in the county according to John Haley, the Star Ledger. So, it's not a tough way to get
And if
get
this
started.
is the 3rd one, we've got the 2nd and the 1st ones on our schedule too.
That's a good point.
Yikes. And the extra point is good. 34-0 our score.
South Brunswick will play at home against Monroe next week. And we talked about East Brunswick, some of the players that are in college for East Brunswick. Looking on the paper here, Javon Tyree is with Rutgers from South Brunswick. Darrell Harper plays at New Haven. Mike Greco at Salisbury State. Brian Stonkis at Rutgers, and I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Sanu at Cincinnati. It'll be his first year over there, a receiver who had a great career at Rutgers, and we'll see how he does at Cincinnati this year.
You mean Cincinnati Bengals, you mean?
Right.
That's Mohamed Sanu from Rutgers. Well, we'll see how good Greg Schiano's going to do
point.
down there in Tampa.
Yeah. I think they open up with Carolina first week, Tampa Bay. So we'll see how that goes. Carolina's a good young team with Cam Newton, so that's going to be a challenge for him down there.
That's Gerhardt's at the goal line. We'll bring it across to the 20, 22-yard line maybe, where the Bears will take over 1st and 10.
Looking at some of these other games in the conference today, I thought one game that when I was looking, the Sayreville at Oldbridge game, I know Sayreville's highly ranked at 2, but I was pretty impressed with Oldbridge's backfield last year, and they had them coming back. So I'd like to see what the score of that game is. That's a game that interests me.
Gerhardt's in the shotgun. Gerhardt's trying to, I guess, turn and pivot and pitch at the same time to Ramos, and gets dropped for a 10-yard loss.
And that's been that's had a couple of good games for East Brunswick. The problem with that sometimes is you're going one way and then you're pivoting as sort of like a counter to get the defense to overplay. But if South Brunswick is doing a good job getting penetration, sometimes that play takes a little while to develop, and South Brunswick was able to get there before he could come the other way with it and even have the option of pitching it.
Ball's on the 17-yard line, so now it is a 2nd and 17. Again, that play is going nowhere, as South Brunswick's ability to clog up and control the line of scrimmage here just too good. And when I thought maybe at the beginning part of the game that you could run straight up the middle, if you don't block,
you're not going to run. Right, exactly. And we haven't really talked about it too much with players' names on both sides, but offensive line and defensive line play a lot of times will be the difference in games. The quarterbacks and backs and receivers are the guys that make the big plays and touchdowns, but a lot of times that's where the game is won or lost.
Gerhardt's going to get swallowed up at the 5, trying to look downfield to pass. I don't know if he would have had anybody there. Again, running and throwing not exactly productive here for the Bears. And that loss will bring up a 4th down and Bayonne.
I think you were waiting for that one to use that one, Ken.
I was
now.
hoping not to use that one. That I cannot take credit for it. I actually heard Merrill Reese, the Eagles broadcaster, once talking about an Eagles-Giants game at the Meadowlands where successive penalties and a sack and everything made it like 3rd and 40. And it's like 3rd and Bayonne. Oh, and Jones shanked that punt, and it goes out of bounds. Nobody around him at all. And that goes out at the 18-yard line. And South Brunswick will take over. Jones not having a good game, had 2 of his punts blocked or partially blocked.
Yeah, you know what, too? It sometimes gets in your head. You know, he had that first one partially blocked, another one. So, you know, mentally right now, he's probably thinking about that a little bit. So that's definitely something they're going to have to work on before next week.
Is Josh Miller available for a tutorial?
Yeah, he had a nice NFL career, real nice.
And of course, where did he start his career? In the Canadian Football League.
Did he?
For
Okay.
the Baltimore Stallions.
I didn't know that.
Yes, all CFL 2 years.
I know. I think wow, nice run there.
Finally brought down at the 20, so no gain or loss of 2.
I think he Arizona College, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, All-American at Arizona. Then got a cup of coffee or a taste in the mini camps and that with Seattle and the Packers, and was cut. And then somebody knew somebody who knew somebody and said, hey, come on down to Baltimore. There's a Canadian Football League team there. And he was just a punter there and was all CFL 2 years. Got to the Grey Cup both years.
Okay.
And is one of 2 players in the last 25 years, I think there may be a third, to have a Grey Cup ring for winning the championship in '95 with that Baltimore team and a Super Bowl ring.
Okay, because I know he did play for Pittsburgh. He might have been on the team or New England?
No, New England against the Eagles, the third Brady Super Bowl against the Eagles.
Okay, because I knew he was with Pittsburgh. I wasn't sure if he was there the one of the years when they won it recently, and then I know New England he was with as well.
One of the other players who won it was also on that Baltimore team. He actually won this is really weird. He wins the Grey Cup with the Baltimore Stallions, and then several years later wins the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, O.J. Brigance. Injured player on the field there for South Brunswick, number 79, Nicholas Mecca.
And that's a good sign for him, being able to walk it off.
Now Perkowski's back in for the Vikings here.
You might be right where he wanted to give, the other quarterback some time, because if he was even hurt a little bit, I don't think he'd be back in this game with the score 34-0.
Well, that play certainly looked like he was a bit rusty, as Perkowski didn't know whether to pitch it to Austin Morse or to take it himself, and ends up losing, call it 10 yards, 9 yards on the play, 10 yards. Ball spotted on the 28-yard line, so it's now a 3rd down and 20, long 20. Delray Ford in the backfield behind Perkowski.
Looks like we got some new players in too for South Brunswick.
The pitch to Jail Holmes. Gets it outside, maybe gets a yard. 2. That'll bring up a 4th down and very long. I don't know if you would attempt here a 45-yard field goal from the far hash mark, but maybe you do.
Looks like they are.
Yeah, they're bringing the kicker out. Dylan Olson's going to come out. Ball looks like it's going to be spotted at the 34, so this will be a 44-yard field goal attempt.
And just the way he was kicking the extra point, he looks like he has the leg for it. Obviously, it's going to be if he can be accurate.
The hold, the spot, the kick has got the distance, but it looks like it will drift wide left.
Yeah, you're right. He did have the distance and just a little wide left. He had a little bit of help, it looks like, if you look at those flags there on the goalpost, they look like, not much of a breeze here, but helping a little bit.
4:49 remaining third quarter, 34-0. Our score here as South Brunswick is handing it to the East Brunswick Bears. I'm Ken Saroka along with Richie Whalen. Take the time again to thank the EBTV technical crew for their work here in promoting East Brunswick High School athletics. This game will be broadcast again as part of a marathon weekend on November 9th, 10th, and 11th, and most of these games will be rebroadcast at that time. But you can also catch it on demand at ebtv3.org. Catch all the programming, not just the sports, but other programming. Gerhardt's gets stood up at the line of scrimmage. Well, the ball came out.
Right, they're probably saying his forward progress was stopped or he was down.
Second down, emphatic. I think so. I do think that yeah, I mean, he probably did have that ball out before the whistles, but.
Well, he's saying you could hear the ref when you start driving him back, you can't grab the ball, but there is a forward progress when it stops, but that was probably generous there.
Well, the breeze has started to pick up a little bit, but it is still very oppressively humid here. I just can't imagine you go to some place like Temple, Texas, or those Ocala, Florida, where they got 15,000 fans, and I just can't see how you can play in this weather. Inside handoff. And driving for it, still on his feet and getting out to the 35-yard line, Jason Parker. And that's the first down in quite a while for the Bears.
I like to see that. It's some emotion there, running with...
well, that's what I thought they could do early on, is that if you get a focused blocking scheme and drive it straight through, that middle of that line does not look impressive.
And talking about the Heat, the opposite end, how about, I think it's 2014, they're going to try to play the Super Bowl in New York.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting.
Having gone to Canadian Football Championship games in snow and sleet and freezing temperatures, I hope everything breaks loose. I hope we have snow. I hope the temperature is 20 degrees at game time with a 40-mile-an-hour wind. Football should be played outdoors, not in front of palm trees. Gerhardt gets around to the outside and will get about 8 yards on the play. Looks like, though, he rolled his ankle as he fell. Getting up a little bit gingerly there. No, it looks like he's heading to the sideline.
He might be getting the play, though, here.
Yeah, well, he better put his shoe on.
Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, but it looks like Kevin Hemmings, the sophomore, is going to come in. Hemmings did attempt one pass on the first drive of the second half. Anthony Fisher. So I think Fisher might take over as the quarterback as he's calling the signals here. Hemmings comes in the backfield. Wishbone backfield. Fisher has enough for the first down. Out to about the 48-yard line. So 2 first downs in a row here for the Bears on this particular drive.
Yeah, 3.
And Gerhardt is still on the bench. I don't see him being attended to by the training staff. He just is very slow right now, taking his time tying his shoes. One of the student trainers has now come up to him.
Yeah, 3 positive plays again by the Bears, so it's a good sign.
Fisher under center. That handoff went to, looks like, Parker.
Right.
And Parker, despite the score being as it is, Parker seems to have a little bit of swag in him right now.
Yeah.
Like he wants to take the ball. Give me the ball. Let me go through these guys.
I agree. You can just see it in his body language, and that's good. He's a senior, Jason Parker, and you need people like that, despite what the score is. Because as we said before, this is the opener for both teams, so there's a lot of football left to be played.
Gain of 4 on that play, 2nd and 6, as the Bears have now entered South Brunswick territory again. Fisher gets out to the 41, and that will be enough for a first down. 3 first downs on this drive, and the Bears are moving the football.
And Gerhardt is coming back in for the Bears.
This will probably be the last play of the third quarter. Gerhardt will get under center, full house backfield. Better get this play off. Parker. Forward progress probably has him down to the 38-yard line, gain of 3. And that will be the last play of the third quarter. Our score, South Brunswick 34, East Brunswick 0. We hope that changes, the second part of that score changes on this drive. Again, this particular game will be rebroadcast twice more on September 13th at 8:30 p.m. and Friday, November 9th at 11:30. That marathon weekend begins Friday at 11:30, Friday, November 9th at 11:30, and continues through Saturday and Sunday. I also like watching when they do the blast from the past kind of games. You know, to see some of the old players, to see some of the old games there. See, for example, Frank Knoppenberger coaching the boys basketball team.
Without the three-point line.
Yeah, without the three-point line. You know, Glenn Pazinko lining up for tight end during the 1980s. So some of the classic game. Heather O'Reilly playing basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, everybody forgets that, you know, Heather O'Reilly would also, you know, be on the basketball team during her stay here at East Brunswick. So.
You get a good look there on the screen of Coach Borden.
30th season.
30th season. Has had a lot of success with this East Brunswick program. 2 Group 4 state titles in the last 10 years. So many playoff appearances.
Yeah, and if you think about the teams, the Piscataways, the Sayrvilles, you know, the big teams, they don't have that.
Yeah.
Gerhardt's handing off to Bitten. That play, again, does not seem to be developing. Matt Bitten not getting to that hole quick enough, or the blocking just not working. Bitten gained maybe a yard on the play.
One advantage, too, when I played, Piscataway was in our group in the state playoffs where they actually beat us my junior year in the semis, but I don't know what year it turned, but now they're in the North Jersey playoffs. So
yeah, the Raritan River being the dividing line.
Right.
Third down, 5. Gerhardt needs to get the ball to the 31-yard line. And again, a handoff mistake there.
Yeah, that was tough. Just great penetration by the South Brunswick defensive line. They almost got there before, almost took the handoff from them. They were there so quick.
Now, it's only the first game. I know what the score is, but Fisher was running a nice little ship there. Do you let him at least finish the drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a thought process that has to go through your head.
Just the change of pace, the crispness, the execution. You know, Gerhardt's hobbling perhaps a little bit. I don't know. Just, can you?
Right, I know what you're saying. You're in a good rhythm with him, and that's a good point. That's something you definitely have to think about. 4th and 6. Gerhardt's rolling, throwing downfield, and Mr. Knopp with a
the
great
reception.
catch
there. So 3 first downs, but the drive stalls. Yep. And again, Gerhardt's not able to set his feet through that ball.
And Spadafino next to him. But you're right, exactly. And that's even a tougher throw when you're going to your left there and throwing across your body. But Mr. Knoppenberger is going to be telling everyone about that catch.
Yeah. All right, again, we'll see who comes out for South Brunswick at quarterback here. They had TJ Perkowski come out in that last series that went nowhere. The the missed field goal attempt. And we're going to have a timeout, South Brunswick, with 10:25 left to go, fourth quarter.
And just want to mention also the cheerleaders for East Brunswick. We see the Bears in the huddle here, but East Brunswick cheerleaders we really haven't mentioned yet, but they do a great job every home game. You know, they usually do the push-ups for the Bears when they score. Unfortunately, none tonight. Stephanie Nemes is the coach for them, does a nice job with them. So.
And it's just more than pom-poms and cheering. I mean, there need to be a little bit of a gymnast, a little bit of a dancer, a little bit of a tumbler. I mean, you've got all kinds of things going on here.
Yeah, you know, athletic ability. Plus, I know, you know, I don't know what season exactly it's in, but a lot of them do the competitive cheer where they're doing a ton of tumbling and, you know, tossing people up and things like that. So.
Well, changing quarterback for South Brunswick, number 13, Ryan Woznies is in, but the inside handoff to J.L. Holmes goes nowhere.
Michael Quinnen was in on that tackle as well as a couple other people. Looks like a referee timeout here. Looks like a
Bear player on the carpet here.
Looks like number 45, Joey Chetta.
Again, Bears next week.
Next week, Bears at Sayreville, which, you know, is, I don't know if it's tougher or about the same, but, you know, Sayreville's ranked second in the preseason polls. After that, at North Brunswick. And
then home here to Monroe.
Right.
And we'll be back on EBTV for that game. All right, back in play here as the training staff has attended to the injured Bear player. I was reading an article, I remember mentioning about these places like in Texas and Florida where this school in Texas built a $60 million sports stadium for high school.
I read that.
With $1 million scoreboard.
I did read that.
You know, I guess it's Friday Night Lights, you know. J.I.L. Holmes with the carry. Bears again stopping well on defense.
Looked like number 80 there, Sean O'Sullivan there, as well as Chris Ramos on the tackle.
Joey Chetta back in the game here for the Bears, I guess, or I saw him run in, maybe not, but I saw him try to get onto the field. Yes, he is on the field, okay. Third down and 8 here for the Bears, who, again, could use a good stop here as Ryan Woznies brings the Vikings up under center. The inside handoff. And going for a gain of a couple yards is Austin Morse, but that'll bring up a fourth down for South Brunswick, and we'll see what the coach does here. Looks like, yes, he is going to send the punt team in.
Looks like Wesley Lynch on the tackle there, so.
And Austin Morse will drop back to punt. Ramos and Gerhardt and Parker back deep for the Bears to receive. Wouldn't it be nice to have a fumble here or a botch or some kind of block here?
That would be nice.
To get us off the shutout here. Boom, bouncing punt, balls up and bouncing around, and we'll get down to about the 30-yard line where the Bears will take over first and 10 with 7:59 to go here in quarter number 4.
Well, last drive for the Bears was the best of the night. They were able to, I think, get at least 2, I think maybe even 3 first downs before they were stopped. So let's see if they can build on that a little bit here.
Gerhardt's back in at quarterback.
It looks like South Brunswick has, you know, mostly some substitutes in, some second stringers now. They're going to rest some of their
James
starters.
Giswaldi is your wide receiver, slotted to the bottom part of your screen. Ramos in motion. Inside handoff to Parker. Parker gets out to the 40-yard line, and again, that works.
Yeah.
And Parker is making positive yardage on that. Comes up a little bit limping on that leg.
I've definitely been impressed with Jason Parker. He's run the ball hard, especially in the second half. He's shown some emotion. And you give some credit there, the East Brunswick offensive line giving him a hole to run through. He wasn't touched maybe for the first 3 or 4 yards.
Ramos in motion. Again, that time Parker got the handoff and was met almost immediately there for the Vikings. Nigel Bush, 61, crashed the party and crashed Parker down for a 2-yard loss.
That's one he's going to enjoy watching the tape of when they go to that play in the film session.
Third and 5 from the shotgun. Gerhardt's pitches. Bitton, again, this has not worked because I don't think Bitton is as decisive as Parker or as Ramos would be. And again, he has lost yardage on many of his runs, and that's a loss of 3 on the play. Bush, who made the tackle on Parker, makes the stop there. And the punt team is back in for the Bears.
And looks like there might be a new punter here. They're going to try out number 1, Aaron McSweeney, to see what he can do here.
Snap is a little to the side, but McSweeney manages to get it off and bounces one. It takes a good East Brunswick bounce. Wasn't pretty, but it got down to the 25, 26-yard line. A punt of about 35, 40 yards almost.
You see, some college teams do it where they sort of have that punter do the rugby-style kicking where, they catch it and they roll out one way and just try to, run one low and get it running on the ground. That might be something, if East Brunswick is having some trouble with their punter where maybe they just decide to do something like that.
Well, at least with the field turf field, you get a truer bounce.
Exactly.
I can remember the old football field, sometimes the ball would land and just stick.
Oh, definitely.
The thick grass in one area, and it would just stick, or mud or
any
bounce,
rain, exactly.
Boom, skid or something would really be wrong there with that. Woisney's back in at quarterback for the Vikings, who have used 3 quarterbacks tonight. The pitch to Andrew Lee, and he slips and falls down on his own and is going to be brought down 17, 18-yard line.
And I didn't quite catch the number. Might have been number 24 for East Brunswick. Nice play there. I guess a nice thing for South Brunswick here is coach has been able to get in some different players here.
Well, that too, and again, in a night like tonight, you don't want to burn. I'm surprised Gerhardt's is in as long as he is. Yes, you want to continue working with him,
right,
developing him, but the weather, the humidity, he got rolled, his ankle rolled on. It's just not necessary that he stay there. The outside pitch, and pursuing nicely there for the Bears as they drive. Austin Morse out at the 23-yard line. Still now 3rd down and, I'm sorry, that's at the 17-yard line. So now it's 3rd down and 24. Or, no, 3rd down. I can't read these lines here. Whoa.
Yeah, I'd say about 3rd and 18.
3rd and 18, yeah. Okay, 3rd and 18. Looked like somebody jumped inside, but no flag. But that inside handoff goes for no yards. And that brings up a 4th down, and South Brunswick will be forced to punt. Morse will drop back to punt. Parker, the up man. Ramos and Gerhardt are the deep backs. Timeout as some kind of personnel issue on the field for South Brunswick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think they only had 10 men on the field.
And that happens, not that it's an excuse, but when you're getting the, maybe second or third teamers on there, sometimes there's a little confusion as to who is out there. I was watching the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game. I don't know why I was still watching it, because Cincinnati really was in control most of the game, but late in the game, Cincinnati didn't have a player on the field or something, and the coach, they're up, whatever, they were up a big amount, and the coach was going ballistic. But you still want to keep coaching here, because you never know, one injury here, one injury there. These guys are going to be on the field, so they want to make sure they have the right amount of guys out there.
3:25 left to go in this 4th quarter. The Bears looking to put some points on the board here. And instead, we're going to drop back to punt the place kicker, Dylan Olson. So a change there for South Brunswick. East Brunswick setting up for the return. Good snap. Punt is away. Punt's going to go nowhere quick. Let's see what the bounce goes. Bounce is out of bounds at the 37, 38-yard line of the Vikings. So that punt went 19 yards. It's not as easy as it looks.
No, it isn't. It's one thing also to be doing it in practice where, if you're doing it on the side, when people start coming at you, it's a whole different.
I can remember in the championship season in 04, the East Brunswick punter, who was a big guy, name escapes me at the minute.
Denise, right?
Yeah, Rafe Denise. If the ball was snapped low, or high, he couldn't go after it. But I can remember Marcus Borden taking a safety late in that state championship game just to give Rafe Denise a chance to free kick.
Right, and he hit that boomer, right?
Yeah, he let a 75-yard booming punt as opposed to dropping back on your goal line.
Exactly.
To take it. And at the time, I was working the security there for the East Brunswick fan section, and I'm like, that is a brilliant move.
Yeah, it is.
And
a
then
great
boom, the punt went crazy. Went. I think from the 25. I think the Jackson returner picked it up at about the 10-yard line.
Right. Yeah. Difference in the game.
All right, Anthony Fisher is in at quarterback now, so get a chance to see if the momentum that he had there can pick up. But again, one of those indecisive handoff, fake handoffs. I'll take it, you keep it. Ends up being a stop there, so it'll bring up a 3rd down here for the Bears. 3rd down, and long 2. Call it 2.
And East Brunswick, this clock's winding down a little over 2 minutes. So if they're gonna get something developed, positive if they don't get it here, they're gonna go on 4th down. But this is their last chance to avoid that shutout, which you hate to have that 0 over there.
Now Gerhardt is in the game. He's one of the running backs now with Parker, the up back.
Maybe a pitch to him and he might throw it. Let's see. Oh.
The first completed pass to Ramos. Ramos has it brought down at the 25-yard line. Yes, it is an East Brunswick 1st down. Didn't exactly see where exactly was tackled. Thought it was close to the 25, and they do mark it right at the 25. So with 1:47 left to go in the 4th quarter. Fisher completes the first pass, picks up the 1st down. Gerhardt, Ramos, Parker, the backfield. Tight ends close. Full house, Wishbone. The pitch to Gerhardt. Now taking it as a running back. Breaks it inside the 25. Doesn't get much time running down now. Again, the idea to score here, but to do it quickly. With 1 minute, 10 seconds, you've got maybe 2, 3, 4 plays, depending on incompletions and out of bounds. 2nd and 9. Ball on the 24-yard line. James Giswaldi splits out to the top of your screen. Fisher drops back, looking, throwing it for Hemmings. And tip drill and intercepted in the end zone by Adon Burnett.
And that will be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 20, and that will do it for...
Well, you can't throw a jump ball like that when your wide receivers are seriously outmatched height-wise by the DBs.
Yeah.
You hit them on the line, hit them on a fly or a go, but can't just throw it up there like that. And you had 2 East Brunswick receivers in the area, but you also had 3 South Brunswick defenders. That's the Bears' 4th turnover, once on downs, twice on fumbles, and the interception.
And I don't think South Brunswick called timeout. They did this the last time and got called for a delay game, so they're just making...
Well, this should be victory formation,
right,
and take a knee and call it a day. If if I'm the EB defender, it's not saying that this is sportsmanlike in any way, shape, or form, but if he runs around there or pitches it, I'm teeing off on the guy.
Right.
Take the knees, okay? We're not going to stop the clock. Take the knees. And he does that just thing. Not saying we're going to have a Joe Pizarczyk moment here, but get one more play off here before the whistle goes. Or actually, after that whistle goes. And again, taking a knee.
And that should do it.
As the clock winds down, our final score will be South Brunswick 34, East Brunswick nothing. Well, I don't know what you can learn. Maybe you do have to seriously consider some quarterback competition here. Redesign some more plays for Parker.
Yeah, you're gonna, you're definitely gonna have to go and look at, basically everything. Special teams wasn't particularly great today. I thought defensively at times did some decent things. Yeah,
there were a lot of plays for negative yardage. There were a lot of plays that the defense, sacked quarterbacks or caught the running backs in the backfield. So there was some positives there on the defense.
Yeah.
But you look at the touchdowns that were scored. 3 of the touchdowns, the quarter Prokowski never touched.
Right.
One of the Hooper never touched.
Right. And and then you just want to get rid of the the fumbles and things that you can control. But we got to also keep in mind South Brunswick is one of the better teams in the area. So 30. I'm sure South Brunswick is going to beat some decent teams by a pretty good score. So we got to keep that in mind.
All right, for Richie Whalen, I'm Ken Saroka. We'd like to once again thank the EBTV technical crew for coming out and sharing East Brunswick High School athletics with all of you. Again, the final score here from J. Doyle Field, the South Brunswick Vikings 34, the East Brunswick Bears no score. Have a good night.